Fear of failure is a disease spread by the society. Fear of failure is an epidemic. Fear of failure is a societal construct. Often strengthened in you through your parents, your tradition, your culture, your authority. Whatever it is that you live somehow pushes you toward this fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of embarrassing your family, fear of embarrassing your culture, fear of embarrassing yourself. Sometimes people, they realize that yes, it's a cultural oppression, but they don't realize they're mostly afraid of failing again rather than failing itself. They once tried to do something and it didn't work. Therefore, perhaps they had to change their strategy, try again. Or maybe they get fed up. They don't want to experience failure again. They don't want to go through that process of simply seeing everything crumble down. You gotta start over, build everything up again until God knows when it's gonna crumble again. Here is where I give this general analogy. There's a reason someone is called general. There's a reason someone is in command, regardless of how this hierarchy might look stupid. But at the end, if at some point you are under attack, you need to fight back. At least instinctively, you need to fight back. Morally, maybe you want to become Gandhi, yeah. Morally, you might want to do something extraordinary, perhaps use your chi force to push the enemy here and there. But instinctively, you gotta fight back. No matter how much you think to yourself that you are a peaceful person, the fight never stops because it's not of your choosing, it's not your way of living. This is a collective way of living. No matter how hard you try as someone like Gandhi, you will not succeed. No matter how hard you try as someone like any other saint, you will not succeed. Because the idea of success is not making something, it's just to become the general. You fight enough, you fight long enough until you upgrade. You fight long enough until you've seen the world. I've seen, you've seen the whole war. Every time you went inside this war, the chances were telling you you're gonna be massacred, you're gonna be killed. But every time you come out alive, then others will look at you. Then others that they are just simply afraid to go to this war, they look at you. They're like, well, if this guy is doing something right to stay alive in the war, maybe we should follow this guy. That's where you rely on the commander. That's where you say, yo, teach me your way of fighting. How is it? I want to survive too. I want to simply become the general. But the general cannot solve anything for the rookie. For the ones that goes to war has to experience war. If you don't experience war, no matter how much the general transfer this wisdom, you haven't faced it yet. This fear of failure, this fear of embarrassment, this fear of not losing again and again and again, it's only gonna keep you far away from the enemy line. Don't create an enemy now just because I said enemy. I'm not talking about anything worldly here. I'm not talking about you must fight, you must resist whatever the world is throwing at you. I'm not an activist. I'm not talking about any activity here. I'm simply reminding you fear of failure is one way to stay soldier, and continuous failing is one way to become the general. The idea of success does not exist. You cannot win any war and the enemy does not come for you again. That's not how it works. The enemy will always be there. The enemy will always wants to hunt you down. Maybe it's not with swords anymore. Maybe the weapons of mass destructions are different these days. But the enemy is always there, my friend. Maybe the war is a little bit more personal these days. Maybe the war is a little bit more private these days. Maybe the war is a little bit more alone these days. There is not much camaraderie left. Everyone for themselves. But the war is always there. Now don't let the idea of succeeding in life fool you. Allow the idea of failing form you. Allow the idea of failing forge you. When you get involved in succeeding in life, no one really cares about your success. Everyone loves your failure. Everyone is interested in your failure. No one is interested in your success. And that's alone is enough to tell you there is no possible way for you to win this life. There is all possible ways for you to fail this life. And that's when you can free yourself. This what I'm telling you right now is perhaps the nugget of all my teachings. The idea of succeeding only brings competition. And this competition is not designed to be won. Look at the state of the world. The first ever trillionaire just 100 years after the first ever billionaire. For 100 years, from 1 billion to 1 trillion, wealth of a man. 100 years ago, Rockefeller became the first billionaire. And if you look at the world, it's all Rockefeller's worldview. If you look at the current world right now, it's all Rockefeller's family worldview. Everything we go through is designed by this family. Everything we experience is designed by this particular secret society. Now, the first ever trillionaire is going to create the future for you. Everything you're going to go through from now on is going to be creation of this man. If you don't understand this, that's up to you. But the prediction of that life is not hard. The prediction of that life, you can even hear that man's talking, he will predict it for you. But what you can do is not to succeed, because as soon as you go for success, you walk on this man's path. As soon as you want to make it in the world, you exploit the world alongside this man. Now you tell me, you want to be a person with a chip in your head and a pocket full of cash? Or you want to be that one person that holds a healthy, old school brain under the hood? With empty pocket. If you're a fan of vintage, then my friend, it's easy. No one likes vintage. I mean, I guess for the past decade, everyone loves vintage because that's the trend. But generally, no one likes vintage. Everyone wants brand new technology. And vintage only makes sense so much when the world goes toward absolute digitalization, when everyone is connected through their brain by the chips, then the idea of having something vintage is absurd. Because you gotta always be upgraded. Every single day you gotta be updated. Fail. Fail, my friend, and let the failure take you with it. Even if it's painful, fail more. Fail as much as you can. Please, fail. I cannot wish for you to succeed. This is not a good wish, so I won't. Don't be afraid of failing. Do something, anything. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself be seen. And whoever needs to be there to take anything from it, let them do it. But fail for yourself. Don't fail for anyone else. Fail for yourself. Much love.